Hello and welcome back to ROM Hack Reviews, the show where I review and analyze a ROM hack of any game. If you haven't already, I suggest you go over to my review of Super Mario Star Road, as many techniques used here were introduced in that video. Also then, you'll be watching this series in order, so yeah, consistency. Anyway, on with today's review. SM64, the Green Stars. This hack is seen as one of the better ones in the eyes of many, up there with Star Road, Last Impact, and some of the better Star Avengers. But is this hack all it's cracked up to be? No it fucking isn't. Welcome to my review of Super Mario 64, the Green Stars. Like with my review of Star Road, let's go through some basic information around this hack. This hack was developed by Campbell125 and was released on August 13th, 2013. A few others listed for helping with development of this hack include Skullex's nemesis Kaiser Manuar, Frauber, and VL Tone. Now you'd think that the talents I just listed being involved would make this hack really good, right? Right? Well, no. The opposite is true. Not only is this hack the worst one I've played, in terms of major ROM hacks at least, you're gonna hear me say that a lot, it's also my least favourite. But you guys don't care about my final verdict just yet, you care about the journey. Why is this hack bad? Well, let's get into that, shall we? Firstly, let's get into the elephant in the room. This hack's popularity. Why do people compare this to Star Road? Like, Star Road isn't perfect by a long shot, but it's damn perfect compared to this piece of shit. Like, wow, I can't believe people say this is like playing the original SM64. That's an insult to the original SM64. Spoiler alert, this review is negative. Very negative. It's probably going to be my most negative review for a while. Maybe the next review I'm doing will come close, but probably not. In terms of story, this hack barely has one. In fact, it's another this hack is meant to be a sequel to SM64, when in reality this sequel is essentially what the Disney sequels are to Walt Disney's masterpieces. Once again, Bowser has stolen the Power Stars and has kidnapped the princess, and Mario has to save the princess like the absolute simp he is. The Toads built a badly modelled rocket to take Mario to Bowser, but Bowser locked it before Mario can get in. Oh no! Spoilers for the ending. Mario gets stuck in the roof.
We have to do something special for you. Here we go!
What? Couldn't you just remove the final cutscene? Like, seriously? What the fuck? Anyway, the story is serviceable, I guess. At least there's some additions. I have a theory. Maybe the reason people like this hack so much is because of the constant Super Mario Galaxy references. Alrighty, time for the big one. This section is gonna be long, so grab a snack. Like in my review of Super Mario Star Road, I am gonna choose 5 worlds to do a more in-depth look into. Alright, let's get into it. Maybe this level is called Bob-omb Plains because of how plain it is. No, seriously, this level is bland as all hell. Like, maybe this is the reason people hate SketchUp so much. Anyway, this level is laid out in a square shape with some very boring stars placed throughout it, including this boring windmill star where you jump on platforms around a hexagon tower. I wonder how many times this kind of platforming is going to be used. Or how about this star, that requires speedrunning skills to get up? Wait, there is another way, but that still requires good timing. In level 1. Okay, time for some credit where it's due. I like the way the secret spots are marked with a sphere so it's easier to find them. In fact, I think in an original version of this hack, you couldn't see them, so yeah, wow. Did you really expect people to find those anyway? This level is really bad. Not only is there no sense of direction, making it easy to get lost in some areas, these fucking pipes are collisioned with super slippery material, so it's super tedious to get around on them. Why this got past the ideas phase, I will never know. In fact, the stars are so forgettable in this level, I have no idea what the stars actually were. Wait, here is that same platforms around a hexagon tower platforming challenge again. All I'm trying to say about this level is it's so complex and boring that I literally can't remember where the stars actually were. Or what the stars were for that matter. Like bro, just because Banjo-Tooie can get complex levels correctly doesn't mean you can. Oh boy, here is the reason I wanted to make a review of this hack specifically. The first Bowser stage, Fearful Fortress. Oh boy, do you want to fear this fortress, because it is poorly designed as fuck. Ice physics, skinny platforms above a quicksand collision surface. A staircase of bullet bill emitters. Stars that boot you from the level when in the original game, they don't do that in the Bowser levels. Oh look, it's that cliche we made the Bowser battle harder thing that like most hacks like to do. It's not creative, dude. It's not even hard, it's just annoying. Now I can't have this analysis without evidence of a good world in this hack, can I? So just to be fair to the game, Giant Overgrown Garden was my favourite world in this game. It had little to no collision issues, this level is actually decent in terms of its look, and the stars are actually more memorable. Climbing this house by using a water wheel is a cool idea, shooting to a giant watering can is cool, going into this giant underground maze is really good. There's a lot of fun to be had in this world. If only all the other worlds were like this one, the game would have been a lot better. Now of course there are some flaws, like this giant flower with the leaves, another climb around a tower using extruding platforms. Anyway, this world is pretty great, and I was very surprised when I played this for the gameplay footage. Oh, and here we come to the world's worst level. Not just the game's worst level, the community's worst level. I've played at least. Sandy's Seaside Bay may look like an okay level from first glance, but oh boy does this level have an issue so huge it makes the level painful to play. The music. Have a listen. Those beeps made my ears hurt after a while, but I had to endure the pain, so I had the utmost precise experience with this hack as possible. This level also has a rather empty feel to it, which goes into my next point about this hack's gameplay. There's barely any of it. Most of, if not all, the stars in this game are predictable and boring. And the ones that don't fit either of those molds are either red gems or extremely terrible missions. All the levels look so bare, with not much to do in them. The levels I'd say that are fun to play at least are the Womp's Forest, Giant Overgrown Garden like I said before, Perilous Cliffs, and Cloudy Quadrangle. Fuck, that last one's a mouthful. These levels have plenty of content to give. Well, maybe except Perilous Cliffs, but that level is fun to play, as the level involves jumping from multiple high cliffs. And I don't know, I like the way you can use the pipes to get around. This is what Green Stars should have been full of. Levels with tons of fun stuff to do in them. Not these empty wasteland levels that look like someone's first time using SketchUp. Overall, the gameplay in this hack is lacking to say the least. So lacking, boring, and overall a slog to play through that I couldn't even be bothered to play it to 80 stars. You may say that's unfair, but in my opinion, it's just very telling as to how bad this game really is. And also I did play every level, and saw my friend play the final level, which looked equally shit. Difficulty. I remember when I wrote this section for Star Road, it was actually difficult to come up with negative points. So the things I said were just slight nitpicks. In this game, the game is really poorly managed. In order to describe said difficulty, let me go through Course 1. Course 1 begins with a fairly easy boss fight. It then goes to fairly simple missions that don't take much time. Then comes Star 6, where you have to make a precise jump or use speedrunning techniques to get to it. What kind of progression is this? Bad, terrible, abysmal. Not only are the enemies placed with seemingly no preemptive thinking, now hazards and tedious collision types are as well. Case in point, first Bowser level. I just hate it when ROM hackers can't integrate difficulty properly and just result to picking the fandom's least favourite enemy and slapping it everywhere. Course 1 is a fucking chuckya, for crying out loud. My brain hurts. It hurts. Okay, back to rational thinking. This game's difficulty is much worse than anything I've ever seen in a ROM hack. Worse than a fucking hardcore ROM hack. Either the stars are too easy, or the stars are so lambastically placed that you start to wonder if this game was tested at all. Well, at least this game doesn't have that other tedious enemy, which I'm not going to mention.
Bees!
Overall, Star Road's difficulty was handled a lot better. And looking at my Season 1 plan, I don't think I'm going to be covering a hack with good difficulty anytime soon. I mean, it's a hard thing to get right, especially considering the limitations. In terms of difficulty, Green Stars is just very hit and miss. It's either consistent, or completely out of whack. Which I'm afraid is the worst kind of inconsistent. And finally we come to presentation. Despite this section being rather short last time around, I actually have a lot to say about this topic in regards to the Green Stars. Just like last time, I'm going to be going through collision, models, textures, and music one by one. Let's go. Collision. Okay, the collision in this game is just awful. There is a lot of inconsistencies in the collision types that are used. Take the snow level for example. The ground doesn't reflect an icy, snowy, like surface, like most hacks would do it. The same is true for the sand level, that garbage tropical level, and a few others I could be forgetting at this point. There's also that glaring issue with the ice physics being heavily used in the first Bowser stage. Because yes, the Bowser stage needs icy flooring, but the ice level doesn't. Real consistent. Models. I did touch on this in the gameplay and world segment, but I'm gonna say it again and give more reasoning. The worlds are bare, uninteresting and boring, except a few I mentioned before, one of which still looks ugly. The creator opts for the Super Mario 64 look, and while yeah, this is a hack of SM64, there is a huge reason why ROM hackers try their hardest not to have the same kind of look in their hacks, because it's ugly and boring. The textures here are just the same as SM64, so I really don't have much to say about the textures themselves, but I do have something to say about how the textures were used. Oh my fucking god, have some variety for fuck's sake. A lot of these levels' boringness comes solely from the fact that the most boring textures were used everywhere, making it hard to get around, hard to see the green stars when the ground is green, or just boring to navigate. The worst offenders are Bob-on Plains, which looks plain, sorry for the same joke twice, and Scorching Desert. The first is literally just a clump of grass textures with a lighthouse and barn placed on it, and the second is the same thing but with sand, darker sand, a cactus and a pyramid. Such variety. Music. Now, when I started playing this hack for the review, I thought I'd give music a pass, as a lot of the stages have nice music, but honestly, that painful music I showed you from Sandy Seaside Bay really knocked the music category's points down. Overall, the music is fine, except Sandy Seaside Bay's music, which was painful to hear, which therefore made the game painful to play when playing that level, which is the mark of any terrible game. Overall, the presentation is what really sets in stone how really bad this game is. When I hear people say negative things about Last Impact or any Star Revenge game in the future, I will get annoyed if they say anything nice about this game as well, because it's complete garbage. Anyway, this hack is fucking awful, but I feel like, for my conclusion, I should reflect on some stuff I did like. I do appreciate that this game had a better story, but I wish that story was integrated into the levels some more, because the levels felt quite one note. So maybe an added story could have made the game feel a little less empty. While I am sure this hack would have been impressive back in 2013, it's 2020 now, Cybro, and hacking has come a long way since then. So I don't think I can say in my right mind that this hack is good. And by the way, this is coming from someone who did play the game when they first got into ROM hacks. I do feel some kind of nostalgia for this hack, but once I took off the nostalgia goggles and saw the bigger picture, I realised how bad this hack really is. So with all that said, I give this hack a 3.7 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review, everyone. I do have a small announcement that would have seemed obvious from the fact this video even exists. This series is going to become a full thing on my channel, and in the future I plan to review a lot of ROM hacks. The next hack I will be reviewing is Super Mario 74, so I hope you're looking forward to that. Please consider giving a like, a sub, and even a comment, because all those things help me out in becoming a fully fledged YouTuber someday. Sorry for the begging. Anyways, thanks for watching.